Hey guys, I'm back. I'm so excited to be back and recording videos for you and yeah, all the fun things. So if you're new to my channel or new to Thursdays, Thursday is my demonstrator day. And so what does that mean? That means that I am a demonstrator and I have been doing this for almost 9 years, and I've decided to help my demonstrator friends by doing a video once a week, sharing with them and showing them some ideas and tips and tricks in running a Stampin' Up! Business. So if you're not interested in that, I highly recommend you click off this video and go to another video where you can watch some of my crafty stuff. I don't have anything crafty to show you today, just fun business tips. However, if you're running any kind of online business or demonstrator type business, direct sales, some of the tips I share could apply to you too. So feel free to stick around no matter what. But I don't want anybody sitting here waiting for me to make a card and going, when is she gonna start? And I'm not going to today. So there's that little disclaimer for you. So let's jump right in. Hello, yay, welcome back to me. Life has been crazy and it has taught me so many awesome lessons that I'm going to share with you over the coming weeks. But today, this is a video that I had planned to do for you last week, and then I was too sick to record it because I was coughing and congested, and now I've got allergies, so I'm still a little congested, but I'm doing much, much better, and I'm able to actually talk without hacking up a lung. Ooh, gross, sorry. So, today's share is the top 3 mistakes that I see demonstrators make. And this kind of applies to everybody as a whole, I think, and myself included from time to time. But it really applied to me when I was new. I mean, a lot. It was a major issue for me. And it was a huge hurdle that I had to overcome. And I feel like if you can overcome it, you will start to see success. But the problem is overcoming this hurdle, okay? So the very first one is obsessing over other demonstrators and their businesses. So one of the biggest things that I see people do is they look at another demonstrator or maybe a collective group of demonstrators that they have deemed in their mind successful, which there's lots of successful demonstrators out there. Some, I mean, you know, are selling $500,000 a year on their own. It's incredible. We're going to tackle that too in a little bit. But the biggest thing that I want to convey today is that comparison is the thief of joy. So if you are out there, if you do these things, here's some things I want you to think about. Do you go to a bunch of different demonstrators' websites and look at everything that they're doing and how they have their website organized and how it looks and what they're sharing and what they're talking about and how they're doing things? If you do that, I want you to stop. I want you to stop, because I did that for so long when I first started. My first 2, maybe 3 years building a blog and a YouTube channel, I obsessively looked at what I thought successful demonstrators' websites were. I would go to their websites, I would look at what they were doing, what they were sharing, how they organized their websites, how they worded things. I was obsessed. And you know what it did? It meant that I wasn't working on me. I wasn't working on my own website. I wasn't working on my own ideas. I wasn't working on my own direction. I was obsessing over theirs and trying to duplicate it in a way that wasn't exactly like them, but that was close enough because I thought I could get that success too. And here's the thing. Nobody says this. Nobody just says that that's what they do, and nobody says it's the wrong thing to do, because it's like a sensitive area, I think. You know, I think that a lot of top demonstrators that perform really well online do a lot of really amazing things, but at the end of the day, there are key things that they all do the same. And I'll share those with you, but I have a whole nother video to go into with in depth with what a successful demonstrator does. So we'll do a different video on that. But I can promise you that some of my friends who are top demonstrators are not going to other demonstrators' websites and obsessing because they are way too busy creating their own content. They are way too busy trying to write that customer email or do something with their downline or whatever. Now, all of this is not to say that if you happen across something that is an amazing idea and you're like, man, I really want to try that, or I want to try a version of that, I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is if you get up in the morning and you go to work on your business and you spend an hour looking at other people's blogs to get ideas of how to do your own, that's where you have a problem. That's where you need to stop doing that, because you're comparing where you're at with where they're at. And here's the other thing. You can't compare your beginning to my middle or my end. Stop doing that. It is so devastating to your inner self and to your business to do that. You can't go, well, I've been doing this 2 years. Why am I not seeing the success that Wendy is at, or whoever, whatever, insert demonstrator. That is because you're comparing your beginning to my middle or my end. You can't do that. And the other thing is, everybody's different. When I first started this business, I hustled like a boss, not just online, but doing classes. I held classes, I held events, I did all kinds of stuff for several years before I went all online. So if you're starting an online business and you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to start an online business and I'll just start getting orders, I super hate to tell you that that is not going to happen. It is more likely that you're going to spend the next year to 2 years building an online presence where people will learn to trust you. And you might get an order or two here and there, but it's going to take time. Now, that being said, there are unicorns. I have one in mind I'm thinking of right now, and he is a gem. And the thing is, there's certain people that know how to be awesome out the gate. And those people are few and far between, and that's why we call them unicorns. Because if you are able to start out the gate and get crazy amounts of orders right off the bat, that makes you a unicorn. But here's what makes me nervous even sharing this with you. I got in that unicorn thinking for a really long time where I was like, well, I'm just gonna, if I do this one thing, it's gonna make all the difference and I'm gonna get all these orders. Or if I just do this one thing, it's gonna do this. And that never happened. That never came to fruition. And so what has happened for me is I'm like the turtle, right? The tortoise and the hare. I'm the tortoise. I'm like, I've plugged along, I've gone slow, I've built. And then I'm crossing that finish line a little bit higher, but I still don't sell what a lot of my sidelines sell individually. I just don't. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with where I'm at. I'm okay with what I'm doing. And I'm just going to keep on plugging along and be that tortoise and just keep on going. And I'm okay with that. And so I think the biggest thing is you have to become okay with wherever you're at. So first, stop comparing. Stop going to other demonstrators' websites. Stop obsessing over what other demonstrators are doing. It's okay to take lessons from them. It's okay to learn from them. There's a difference between that and obsessing. Don't think that you're going to be a unicorn. Do not start this business. This is number 2. Do not start this business and think that within a few months, you're going to have all these orders or you're going to have all this success. It can take years to build that online. Now, if you're doing in-person events, you're going to have success much, much faster than building an online presence. In fact, I tell my team members, don't waste your time building a blog unless you plan to be really consistent and really patient. If you're going to create a blog or a YouTube channel and post once every month, don't even waste your time doing it. It's not enough. It's not going to work for you. So please know that whatever you do, you have to be consistent. You have to show up and you have to do that for a length of time in order for people to find you. Okay, number 3. wasting time researching. This is something I see a ton of my team members and other demonstrators do. They go, well, I need to figure it all out before I do anything. No, you don't. No, you don't. I was a mess when I started. I just threw catalogs out there. I had classes. People came. The first class I ever had, I didn't even put catalogs out. They had to ask me for catalogs. So, I mean, seriously, you do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to spend a bunch of time researching and trying to figure out how to do all these little things. All that is doing, here comes the tough love, people. All that's doing is you procrastinating. That's all it is. It's just you procrastinating and saying, well, I have to do all these things before I can actually have a class, or before I can actually start a blog, or before I can actually run a business. No, you don't. You can just jump in, feet first, go for it, throw it out there, let people know you exist, start a business Facebook page, share your catalog, do those things. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to have a letter for your catalog. You don't need to have a wish list. You don't need to have any of that. Just have an order form in your catalogs and give them out like candy and host a class and let it be what it is. If it's a hot mess, you're going to learn from it. Here's the thing. Any demonstrator worth their salt has jumped in feet first and just gone, okay, I'm doing this. And if I flub up, that's okay, because I'll learn from it. And I personally know so many demonstrators who are amazing demonstrators who have done exactly that. They have made mistakes and gone, okay, that didn't work well. I'm going to need to readjust and do something different for next time. Sorry about my dogs barking. This is my life. It's either record this or don't. That's enough. So, I know I've had a few people comment and say, I hate it when your dogs bark because it hurts my ears. So, I'm sorry. Disclaimer, I have 3 dogs. I can't control them all the time. And I'm in a closed room and you can still hear them. Okay, so those are the 3 top things. Comparing and obsessing over other demonstrators. Having online unicorn thinking. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to start a blog or a YouTube channel, and it's just going to go wildly crazy, and I'm going to have all these orders and make all this money overnight. And number 3, wasting time researching or basically just making lists to procrastinate getting started. So if you're doing any of those things, you know you are, if you are, you can do a few things. You can, number 1, learn to stop doing them. If you're struggling with stopping doing them, or you're not sure if you're doing them, comment below and let me know, and we can chat about it. We can have a discussion about it. Basically, if you're spending any length of time obsessing over somebody else, then that's too much time being spent on time that could be productive for you in creating a business and life that you love. So I really encourage you to think about all these things, digest them, comment below, and let me know what you think. And I will be back next week with another awesome video because I've got lists and lists and lists and lists of ideas, because when I was sick, I was like, well, I can sit here and make ideas for videos. So that's what I did. So if you're interested in my business budget workbook, which we really didn't talk about budgeting today, but I do have that. There is a link below the video where you can purchase that. And if you go to my blog, under blog, if you go to loveandstampin.com, there's a link that says blog. And under that, there's something that says demonstrator support. If you click there, it's got all kinds of different videos and articles about the things that I chat about every Thursday. So I hope you find interest in that as well. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I will catch you next week. Bye.